Okay, so you want to buy a truck. One machine. £80,000 of steel and chrome, $150,000 a year in freight, and nobody telling you when to drive, where to stop, or when to go home. You pick the loads, you keep the money. You are, finally, your own boss. Sounds simple. It is not simple. And the story of how one truck actually makes money and how it quietly bankrupts the person driving it is one of the strangest stories in all of American business. Before you haul a single load, you need to survive buying the thing. A brand new Class 8 sleeper truck, the kind with the big cab you can live in, costs somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000. That's before you've put fuel in it. That's the price of a house in half the country sitting on 18 wheels, losing value every single day you own it. So most first-time buyers do what feels smart, they buy used. And that's where things get interesting, because not all used trucks are the same used truck. A used truck is not really a machine. It's a record of every decision the previous owner ever made. Did they change the oil on schedule, or did they stretch it when money was tight? Did they fix this small air leak, or did they let it eat the compressor? You can't see any of that on the lot. You find out about it 6 months later, on the shoulder of an interstate in the form of a repair bill with 5 digits on it. An engine overhaul on one of these trucks can run $20,000 to $30,000. That's not a repair, that's a second down payment arriving without warning. And here's the part almost nobody outside the industry knows. In 2021 and early 2022, the price of used trucks didn't just rise, it roughly doubled. A 3-year-old sleeper truck that sold for $60,000 before the pandemic was suddenly selling for well over $100,000 at auction. Why? Because freight rates had exploded. Everyone wanted to become an owner-operator at the same time, and new trucks were stuck in factory backlogs. Thousands of drivers signed loans at those record prices. Hold that thought. It's going to matter later, because it's the setup for one of the biggest wipeouts this industry has ever seen. Say you've got your truck. Before you earn a dollar, there's a layer of cost that catches almost every new owner off guard. Your own operating authority means insurance and insurance companies do not trust new trucking businesses. A first-year policy commonly runs $15,000 to $20,000 a year. Then plates and registration, a couple thousand more. Federal heavy vehicle tax, permits an electronic logging device. A trailer, if the loads you want require one, that's another $30,000 to $50,000. By the time you're legal to drive, you can easily be $250,000 deep. And the meter on all of it is already running. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the way one truck makes money is more layered than most people realize. The first and simplest layer is the line haul rate, the price paid to move a load from point A to point B, usually measured per mile. $2 a mile, $2.50, $3 on a great lane. Run 100,000 miles a year at $250, and that's $250,000 of revenue. That's the number that gets people to sign the loan. And that number is a lie. Not because it's fake, because it isn't yours. Most owner-operators find their loads through freight brokers, the middlemen between the companies that have freight and the trucks that move it. And the broker takes a cut before you ever see the rate, commonly 15% to 20%, sometimes more, and you almost never know exactly how much, because the broker isn't required to show you what the shipper actually paid. Read that again. The single biggest number in your business, what your work actually sold for, is the number you are not allowed to see. The second layer is the fuel surcharge, extra money added to loads to offset diesel prices. Sounds like protection. Here's the twist. The surcharge follows fuel prices with a lag and is calculated off average fuel economy, not yours. When diesel spikes on a Tuesday, you pay the new price at the pump on Tuesday. The surcharge catches up later, partially, maybe in a fuel spike. The gap between those two lines comes straight out of your pocket. The third layer is detention pay, money you're owed when a warehouse keeps you waiting to load or unload. The industry standard is brutal. The first 2 hours of waiting are free. Your truck, your loan payment, your insurance, all sitting at a dock earning nothing for free. After 2 hours you can bill for detention, and drivers will tell you that actually collecting it is a coin flip. In most businesses, time is money. In this one, your time is frequently somebody else's free storage. And the fourth layer is the one that quietly decides everything, the backhaul. A load takes you from Dallas to Denver. Great, now you're in Denver, and Denver doesn't owe you a load home. Every mile you drive empty deadhead miles costs exactly the same in fuel, tires, and wear as a loaded mile and pays zero. The skill of this business isn't driving, it's geometry. The owner-operators who survive aren't the ones with the shiniest trucks. They're the ones who never let the truck run empty. Loaded miles pay the bills. Empty miles are the bills. So far, one truck sounds like a machine that prints money from 4 directions. Now here's the other side of the ledger. Fuel is the monster at 100,000 miles a year, getting 6.5 miles per gallon. Even at $4 a gallon, you're burning over $60,000 of diesel a year. Then the truck payment, commonly $2,500 to $3,500 a month. Then the cost almost nobody budgets for, tires. A truck rolls on up to 18 of them and a full set can run $6,000 or more. Tires don't fail on payday. Then maintenance and repairs, which the veterans budget at 15 to 20 cents for every single mile because on a truck. Everything is a wear item and everything is industrial priced. Then insurance, taxes, tolls, parking, and the small detail that you also need to eat and live somewhere. And buried in that list is the trap that mirrors every failing business on earth. Most of those costs don't shrink when the truck stops moving. The loan payment doesn't care that freight is slow this month. The insurance doesn't care that you're sick. A piled truck isn't a paused business. It's a business burning money in silence. Which is why one breakdown at the wrong moment doesn't just cost a repair. It costs the repair, plus the load you couldn't take, plus the fixed bills that kept arriving while you sat still. That's the trapdoor under the floor. Here's the number that separates the survivors from everyone else, and it fits in one sentence. What does it cost you to drive 1 mile? Add up everything: fuel, payment, insurance, tires, maintenance, permits, divide it by your miles, and you get your cost per mile. For most single truck operators, it lands somewhere around $1.70 to over $2. Now the entire business becomes one comparison: rate per mile versus cost per mile. If a load pays $2.10 and your cost is $1.80, you made 30 cents a mile. If your cost is $2.20, you just paid a broker for the privilege of working. And here's the counterintuitive part. A fully booked truck can lose money all year. Busy is not the same thing as profitable. A loaded truck is not the same thing as a paying truck. That distinction is where most new owner-operators get into serious trouble because the truck feels successful. It's moving, it's earning. It's just earning less than it costs, 30 cents at a time, 10,000 miles a month. And for the drivers who can't afford to buy a truck at all. The industry offers a shortcut, and it's the darkest corner of this entire business. It's called a lease purchase. A carrier says no money down, no credit check, lease this truck from us, drive for us, and the payments come out of your weekly settlement. Own the truck at the end. On paper, it's a ladder. In practice, here's what happens: you can only haul that carrier's freight, and that carrier's rates. The truck payment, the insurance, the maintenance escrow all come off the top of your check before you see it. Slow week, the deductions don't slow down, and if you fall behind or quit, the truck goes back along with every payment you ever made. A federal task force spent 2 years studying these deals and concluded that the overwhelming majority are structured so the driver almost never ends up owning the truck, with some drivers netting less than minimum wage in some weeks, after deductions taking home effectively nothing. It looks like a path to ownership. It functions like renting a job, with the risk of ownership and the freedom of neither. To understand how all of this plays out in the real world, you only have to look at what just happened. In 2021, freight rates hit all-time records. Spot rates, the open market price for moving a load, was so high that ordinary company drivers looked at the math and made a completely rational decision: buy a truck, keep the whole rate. Tens of thousands of them did, many paying those double-used truck prices we talked about, signing loans at the very top of the market. Then through 2022 and 2023, the market turned. Spot rates collapsed by more than a third from their peak. At the same time, diesel spiked to its highest recorded average, over $5.80 a gallon in mid-2022. Revenue falling, costs exploding on trucks financed at record prices that were now losing value by the month. A truck bought for $180,000 could be worth half that a year later, while the loan stayed exactly the same size. The industry calls what followed a freight recession. The people living it called it something else. Small operators exited by the thousands. Convoy, a freight startup backed by nearly $1 billion, shut down almost overnight. And in August 2023, Yellow, a trucking company that had been on the road for 99 years, with 30,000 employees, filed for bankruptcy and simply stopped existing. 99 years. Gone. If a giant with 30,000 people couldn't survive the cycle, imagine a driver with one truck and one loan bought at the top. Because that's the structural truth underneath this whole industry. Trucking has almost no barrier to entry: one loan, one license, and you're in. So every time rates get good, thousands of new trucks flood in, chasing the same freight. Too many trucks means rates fall. Rates fall until enough trucks give up and leave, then rates rise and it all begins again. The market doesn't just punish bad operators, it's specifically designed to punish people who enter at the moment the business looks safest. The best looking year in trucking is the most dangerous year to buy a truck. So does owning one truck actually work as a business? The honest answer is it depends entirely on which year you're living in, and the gap between the two is enormous. And the good version steady contract freight Fuel calm, no major breakdowns, smart lanes with no empty miles. The disciplined owner-operator can clear 60, 80, sometimes over $100,000 after expenses, own the truck outright in a few years, and genuinely be their own boss. That version is real. It's why people chase this. And the bad version, same driver, same truck rates drop, an engine lets go for $25,000, and the fixed costs keep arriving like a tide. That driver works 70-hour weeks, sleeps in a parking lot, and ends the year having paid for the privilege. Both versions happen constantly, sometimes to the same person, 2 years apart. The truck didn't change, the economics underneath it did. From the outside, an owner-operator looks like a trucker who happens to own a truck. From the inside, it's a small business balanced on 18 wheels where the machine is actually the smallest problem. Because the truck was never the business, the truck is just the cost. Why? The business is the invisible number between what a mile pays and what a mile costs, and most people who buy a truck never calculate that number until the day it turns negative. The people who survive out here aren't the best drivers, they're the best accountants who happen to know how to drive.
$50,000, do I hear 60? 60,000, 60, 60. Sold for $75,000 to bidder number 42.
Jumping in at 30,000, do I hear 35? Now 40, 40. Sold the truck right here at 40,000.